Newt Gingrich is going to get asked the question by Juan Williams. Juan Williams is going to ask about Newt Gingrich's explanation earlier that poor kids should work as janitors to make it through school. And not just through college, but through high school education. So, hey, you know, you're underage, who cares? If you're poor, you should be cleaning the toilets of rich kids. Now, that sounds like a terribly unpopular position. You might want to think about, again, look at how the South Carolina audience reacts to this. Let's show you the first part.
You recently said Black Americans should demand jobs, not food stamps. You also said poor kids lack a strong work ethic and proposed having them work as janitors in their schools. Can't you see that this is viewed at a minimum as insulting to all Americans, but particularly to Black Americans?
No, I don't see that.
Yeah, make the black kids work as our janitors again. Yeah, way to get them, Newt. This was seen as one of the top moments for Newt Gingrich. There are now analysts talking about how Newt Gingrich might be back in the race because of how effectively he insulted blacks in this country within the sphere of a Republican primary in South Carolina. And Juan Williams was asking the question. Joan Walsh makes a couple of good points. She says, one, he's a stand-in for Obama, if you know what I mean. Number two, Newt here sounds like he's saying something atrocious to the rest of us, making poor kids clean toilets for rich kids, no matter what their race is. But no, Joan makes a great point. She says he's hitting the Republican trifecta. He's bashing anti-business regulations like child labor laws. Oh, they don't even want your kids to work. Put them back to work. I don't want any regulations of business. Number two, he's hitting the public sector unions. Oh, the janitors make too much. I bet we can get black kids to do their job for much less. And number three, he's hitting lazy urban kids, as she calls it, right? So, again, atrocious within the Republican debate, outstanding. Look at the reaction he gets in the next part.
So here's my point. I believe every American of every background has been endowed by their Creator with the right to pursue happiness, and if that makes liberals unhappy, I'm going to continue to find ways to help poor people learn how to get a job, learn how to get a better job, and learn someday to own the job.
Okay. When we come back, they can't hear me, but I'll talk to you.
I have never seen that before. A standing ovation at a debate. Standing ovation for own that job. Scrub that toilet, black kid. We got all these rich kids in South Carolina that they needs their toilets scrubbed. I don't care that you're underage. Get to work. I'm going to show you the value of work by underpaying you while you're a kid trying to study and make something of yourself, to get an education, to do better so that you don't have to be a janitor. No, put the book aside, pick up a brush and clean rich people's toilets. And South Carolina gives it a standing ovation in the Republican field. Great job, Newt. Way to, basically spit on the poor. And if it's African-American kids, and by the way, after the debate, he doubled down and talked about, hey, look, it could be any race, but hey, Juan Williams was talking about African-Americans, so let's talk about African-Americans. They need to get to work, and they need to do this and this. And it's not like it's subtle. He calls the president food stamp president. But he's not, the president isn't the one that created this economy. George Bush he's the one that increased poverty. But President Obama is black. George Bush was white, so you don't criticize Bush. And of course, he's a Republican. The fact that he caused this catastrophe in the first place is irrelevant. Blame the black guy. And then make their kids scrub toilets. Standing ovation. Way to go. Every once in a while, I criticize the president strongly, so people say, oh, are you going to vote for a Republican? Are you kidding me? Look at that display, man. It makes me want to vomit. It's really disheartening that we're in a state in this country in the year 2012 where you've got people that are, look at them. They're so excited about the idea that poor kids shouldn't have a chance. that they need to, that they need to go there and be janitors for the other kids, and that'll help them own the work. And, if the Romney's kids have, quadrillions of dollars to spend, that's great, they should. And if your kid doesn't, go pick up a toilet brush. Standing ovation.